But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. That's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes.
That is a man who has balls. That is a man who is in the arena. That is a man who takes action. Probably one of the worst moments in this country's history in a long time took place last night. America chose communism. And I know a lot of you, if you were with me last night especially, you could see that I was crestfallen, I was chagrined, I was deeply, deeply troubled and saddened for our country, but never fear, because we have a real leader. Let me just, I want to dispense with some of the ridiculous notions and myths that are pervading all of the highways and byways and airways and the internet, et cetera, et cetera. You're seeing a cacophony of radical extreme leftists celebrate this as if this is a referendum on President Trump, as this is a rebuke to what happened on November 5th, 2024. Let me just give everybody a little perspective. I promise you, y'all, this video is going to be the video that actually pours a little bit. You're going to be bathed in a light of healing balm, okay? Because after what happened last night, a lot of us, especially if you're a true blue American like myself who bleeds red, white, and blue, a lot of us are deeply, deeply concerned, worried, saddened by the tragedy that took place. But this is going to be the antidote. Last night was not a referendum. Last night was not a rebuke, and I've got a lot of stuff to share with you today. Virginia elected Governor Spamberger. Virginia was always radically blue. It was very, very close. And when I say very, very close, it was practically neck and neck. She only won with, I think, a little over 50% of the vote. New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill, again, won a state that is notoriously massively blue for ages, but Ciattarelli came very, very close. We're making endways. We're making progress in some of these states. Remember, Pennsylvania was blue not that long ago, massively blue, and now Pennsylvania is leaning red. California, we knew that Prop 50 wasn't going to pass. Gavin Newsom has zero track record, so he kind of invented and architected this prop bet to sort of say, hey, see, I've got some wins. I'm a success, but we all know he's a snake. We all know he's vermin. We all know he's got cold, slimy ooze coursing through his veins, and nothing he says is true. He has no chance, which is why when he was asked to go to the DNC in 2024, they didn't even let him go up to speak. He has no chance of running for anything. He will never be president of this country. The real concern that I was hoping that New Yorkers would actually step up, even though there's a lot of things and variables that have really conflated and coalesced to create this awful result that happened in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani won the electoral race for mayor. And that city is, I mean, you've got the fire chief resigning today. You've got police officers who are like packing it up and going, businesses, investors, CEOs of big, large companies saying, I'm taking everybody with me. We are leaving to Florida. We are going to Texas. We are going anywhere far from New York City. It's already happening. That was really the kind of election. That was really the race that I was watching closely, because I never thought in my lifetime, after what happened in 2024, which was a true referendum. Remember, Trump won every single swing state. He flipped more counties red than any president prior. He won the popular vote. And what I'm going to share with you today of how he lambasted these ridiculous, deep state, lazy, unaccomplished, do-nothing GOP who have failed the American people time and time again. And now time is running out. I'm going to share with you everything. That was a true referendum on wokeism, on DEI, on this idea of diversity for diversity's sake, the idea that meritocracy is not one of the pillars of the Constitution of the American founding principles and values, which it is, Trump is not a Republican, just like I'm not a Republican. Trump is not a Democrat. That I'm not nowhere even near a Democrat. Trump is a political revolutionary. He revolutionized the political landscape, which is why he galvanized a movement. MAGA is not Republican. Make America great again. These are people who are fed up with the Mike Johnsons, the John Thunes, the Rand Pauls, the Tom Masseys, etc., etc. Never mind the Schumers, the Hakeems, the AOCs, and the nutbag nut jobs on the left, but even on the right. So don't get it twisted. Don't be crestfallen. Don't be downtrodden. What happened last night was highly, highly expected, except for New York. I was hoping New York and New Yorkers would come to their senses. But when I look at the data and I see that the majority of voters who voted for Zohran Mamdani have either lived in New York for less than 5 years or weren't born in the United States. My fellow Americans, what has happened over the last 12 of the last 16 years, the invasion that was concocted, architected by Obama, and executed by Kamala and Biden, is the reason why we have this Frankenstein monster creature, Zohran Mamdani, who not only is he a baby, not only is he as green as they come, but he has sworn allegiance to Islam. He has sworn allegiance to communism. He has done everything in his power to represent antithetical American values, everything that's antithetical to America, including this. Check this out.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
Those are some of the most horrifying words I've ever heard uttered from an elected official. Zohran Mamdani literally quadrupling down on all of his communist values. This is the guy who wants to defund the police. This is the guy who wants to take over the means of production, everything free, handout after handout after handout, celebrating, elevating fools, the degradation of society, not the hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens like you or me. There isn't a problem too big or too small for the government to pay attention to. Have we not paid attention to what happened in London with Sadiq Khan becoming mayor in London? Look at what's happening in the UK. If you're from the UK, please leave a comment down below and school everybody who's watching. I want you to absolutely impregnate the comments with your perspective because you've gone through this. And now New York is about to go through this. And the ink hasn't even dried yet on his electoral victory. And he's already asking for money. The communist who platformed on the idea of making cost of living affordable in New York City is asking for money. Check this out.
Thank you for the question. It's transition2025.com. And, you know, there were a few months ago where I told supporters across this city to stop donating. And today I am asking them to start once again. And I am asking them to do so because of the fact that a transition that can meet the moment of preparing for January 1st is one that will require staff, it will require research, it will require infrastructure. And those are things that we will have to provide. And I'm excited for the fact that it will be funded by the very people who brought us to this point, the working people who have been left behind by the politics of this city.
That's right. I need money. I need money. Hey, this isn't going to just happen on its own. I need money. I know I gave you all these promises under that ghoulish smile of mine, that creepy, cringy smile of mine, and saying everything's free, buses are free, groceries are free, rent is free, home is free, healthcare is free, but somebody's got to pay for it. But my fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens, this guy is not the problem. Zohran Mamdani is powerless. There hasn't been a mayor in the history of our country who's really had any lasting, robust impact whatsoever, really, on anything, especially at the level that we're talking big picture American values and quality of living. The real problem here is this. What you see on the screen right here is the poly market prediction. And after yesterday's victory across the board from Democrats, which again was not a rebuke. It's not a blue wave. It's not a blue tsunami. It's not a referendum on Trump. These are states and cities that were already notoriously blue. So it's not a big deal. It's not even close to what Trump did in 2024, like not even close. But the odds have jumped to 71% on which party will win the House in 2026. This is the major problem, ladies and gentlemen, because as I've said it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it again. If we want to save America, the Democrats can never, ever, ever, ever have power again. And with Mamdani's victory, what this has done is incentivized the already radical left to become even more radical. The Bolshevik left of Lenin, Marxist left, to even ratchet up their communism colors, if you can believe it. And so the Democrat Party that actually made sense, the Democrat Party that actually, had some practicality to them is long gone. They are dead. Clinton moderate Democrat is dead. It's over. Now you have the Obama-induced AOC squad, mentally Ilhan Omar, and now Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, radical socialist communist faction. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact opposite of what America wants and needs. The only man standing in the way of all this is the same man who has just been working absolutely ceaselessly and tirelessly, putting America first. Trump went on a rampage last night. Pass voter reform, he posted late in the night. Voter ID, no mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state edition, terminate the filibuster. Trump again, Republicans, terminate the filibuster. Get back to passing legislation and voter reform. Because, ladies and gentlemen, after last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. It is now a choice between communism and common sense. Period. So I say again, Mamdani is not the problem. Spamberger, Prop 50, Gavin Newsom, Chitterelli losing to Mikey Sherrill. That's not the problem. What you see on the screen is the problem. These lazy, do nothing, zero accomplishment. They're just as bad as the hypocrites and the Democrats. We finally got control of all three branches of the government, and nothing has happened. Literally nothing has happened. While Trump has signed executive order after executive order, brokered peace, ended 10 wars, 10 conflicts, closed the border, made Americans feel safe, gone into cities so families can actually walk down their city streets that they pay for, hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, so we don't have to have our head on a swivel every time we want to take our kid to maybe get some ice cream or go to the park or maybe have a family outing or dinner on the town. DC residents appreciate this, but these do-nothing mooks, they haven't done anything. Why? Because they've literally betrayed Americans and they've betrayed our president, President Trump. Because President Trump, the reason he is accomplishing so much, the reason he has gotten where he is, the reason why this guy just permeates success, he beams success, is because he's a do-something person. He's an action-oriented person. He's the man in the arena. He executes. That video I did on Scott Adams over the weekend, saying, I'm on it. The guy's got 1,000,006 things on his plate. I mean, stacks of projects and to-do lists on his Resolute desk in the Oval Office. And he took the time out to help out Scott Adams, who's got stage 4 metastatic cancer, and help him with a bureaucratic red tape issue with his healthcare provider. This man is an action-oriented individual, which is why I voted for him 3 times, which is why you voted for him, which is why America is going to prosper and we are entering the golden age. But time is running out. And the solution is GOP, get off your asses.
I think it's very important. We have to get the country open, and the way we're going to do it this afternoon is to terminate the filibuster. And it's possible you're not going to do that, and I'm going to go by your wishes. You're very smart people. We're good friends, but I think it's a tremendous mistake, really. It would be a tragic mistake, actually. It's time. It's time. If I thought they weren't going to approve, I'd I'd sort of be with you. I'd be fine. I'd be neutral to with you. But knowing that they're going to pass it as soon as they get any semblance of control, they'll pass it first thing. Then it's like we have to do it first. And we have 2 years, and we'll end up with 2-3 years, and we'll have this country so perfect. We will have passed more legislation than any Congress and any group of senators or a group of congressmen. And we will get it through. They'll send it to us. We'll send it to them. It'll be a beautiful machine. Otherwise, we're just going to sit around and argue with these people all day long, and they're highly unrealistic, Many of them are radical left subversives, frankly. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want at least five justices. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9, okay? They want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's no reason to rush. But they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this. And I have friends over there that are Democrats. I'm close to a lot of people. And I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema. And they got them out. They were the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done. As soon as they attain power. Now, if we do what I'm saying, they'll most likely never attain power because we will have passed every single thing that you can imagine that it's good and all good for the country. And there'll be no reason to. If we don't do that, people will say they're not doing much and they're in power. So the good news is we did the great, big, beautiful bill, and it's the greatest thing we could have done.
That is a man with balls. That is a man who knows how ruthless, treacherous, cutthroat, gutterball. The Democrats are playing gutterball. Trump knows this better than anyone because he's dealt with the worst of the worst. Why? Because he's actually competed in the real world, unlike a lot of these deep state established GOP losers. Let's just call them what they are. They're losers. They're no better in some regards than the Ghetto Crockett's and the Ayanna Presleys and the Squad and the AOC. They're actually no better than those guys. They've betrayed Americans. They've betrayed President. All the hard work that Trump, RFK, Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Marco, all the hard work that this amazing cabinet has accomplished, the GOP, it's like crickets. They go and they say, we're writing letters. Oh, look, I wrote another letter. It's another investigation. You know what I'm going to do? I tell you what I'm going to do, Rob. You know what I'm going to do, Herbert? Yeah, what are you going to do, George? I'm going to open up another It's all BS. Nobody gives a rat's ass about your letters, about your investigations, about your phony outrage on X. Nobody gives a damn. We want results. I want to see it happen. And if you don't believe me, I know you believe me. By the way, you can help. Leave a comment. All of these guys, senators, congressmen, the White House, Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Miller, the staff of some of these senators, Jim Jordan, Josh Hawley, they all watch this show. Let them know how you feel in the comments, because I know a lot of you feel like I do after what happened last night. The time is now. Looking at that polygraph, the time is now. Do we want to really give them all the power back in 2026 and completely obstruct Trump and make him a lame duck president for the next 2 years? And then, God forbid, they cheat in 2028? Let them know in the comments right now. And I know you believe me about these ruthless, treacherous, no good swamp vermin Democrats. But here's yet another proof. Documentation. Written proof how slimy, cockroach, snake, weaselly they are. Check this out. Well, will you look at that? Hakeem Nobody's Dream Jeffries and Chuck the Buck Demon Devil Horn Schumer himself, they want to demand an emergency meeting with GOP leaders and the president. This letter was just sent out today, conveniently right after Mamdani won and all of their ridiculous candidates won last night. So let me get this straight. You've been holding America hostage. You've been denying hardworking air traffic controllers, federal workers, military, millions and millions of people hostage until you got what you wanted in the election. And now you're ready to negotiate. Now you're ready to talk. How many times have I said it, folks? These are rootless, cutthroat, gutterball, sewage rat hypocrites. And the GOP doesn't stand a chance because they stand on their high horse. They think they have these high morals and fake high ideals without understanding the game. You got to play the game. Trump understands the game. J.D. Vance understands the game. Hegseth, Gabbard, Marco Rubio, RFK Jr., they all understand the game. The GOP, this is all on you. You want to stop Mamdani. You want to stop this socialist communist wave. You want to stop the Democrats from getting power in 2026. It's up to you, Thune, Johnson, Scalia, all you guys. It's up to you. The entire GOP. You need to step up. You need to bust your ass. You need to work triple time. At least try to keep up with Trump, or else this country is headed in the toilet. Everybody leave a comment down below. If you love America, tap the thumbs up. The best way you can contribute to saving our country, and it's free, it doesn't cost you a thing, watch these videos. Tap the thumbs up. Share. Leave a comment. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. You don't have to click anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. That's all you got to do. Because our mission is to make common sense go viral. That's how we're going to save our country for our grandkids' for the next 5, 6,000, 10,000 years. I want this American Republic to thrive. And I know you do too. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe. It's absolutely free. Follow. Doesn't cost you a thing. As always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.